I'm 54 years old, and I played FortNite every day for the last 3 years. And one of the questions I get asked all the time, how did I get into video games as an older person? This is the first episode of an occasional video series where I answer that question. Let's rewind the clock to 50 years ago, at the dawn of the video game industry. I was 5 years old when I first saw the Atari Pong arcade machine in 1975. My father and I were in the basement of the Sears store outside of downtown San Jose. Like many department stores in the area at that time, the return desk was in the basement. We waited while my mother returned something. My father reached into his pocket, pulled out a quarter, and dropped it into the coin slot. The black and white game started after a moment. We each turned a knob to control a paddle that bounced the ball across the screen. I don't recall what the final score was when the game ended. No doubt that my father won, since his hand-eye coordination was better than a 5-year-old. I wouldn't play another arcade machine until the early 1980s. My parents got me 2 video game consoles that came out in 1977. The Magnavox Odyssey 2000 was similar to the Atari Pong I played in the Sears basement. Both Magnavox and Atari came out with their version of Pong in 1972. Magnavox sued Atari for patent infringement in 1974 and won their case in 1977. Atari paid $700,000 for a licensing agreement. The Coleco Telstar Combat was a tank combat game. A pair of fixed joysticks controlled the movement of each tank, and a button fires the gun. Players maneuver their tank around the walls to shoot at each other. Both consoles hook up to the TV via the TV/game switch spots. That switch spots would hold a prominent place in my life for the next 15 years. I had 3 handheld electronic games that influenced me as a gamer in the late 1970s. The Mattel football game allowed you to score touchdowns and kick field goals against the opposing team. If you figure out the pattern for the opposing team, you can score 100 points to 0 points for every game. You couldn't beat the Mattel Battlestar Galactica Space Alert. The game ended only when a Cylon Raider reaches the bottom of the screen to destroy the Galactica. Each wave of 20 Cylon Raiders kept coming down the screen in the same predictable pattern. That pattern allowed me to play the game for a very long time. The Coleco Quiz Wiz was a bit different. The computer plugs into the cartridge with a booklet that has 1001 trivia questions. You type in the question number, press one of the A through D buttons, and press the answer button. A green light with a beep indicates that you got the correct answer. A red light with a buzzer indicates that you got the wrong answer. Since I memorized the 1001 answers for the first cartridge, I had the answers for the second and third cartridges. I gave up on buying any more cartridges after I discovered that pattern. I also had the Milton Bradley Big Trak programmable tank toy in 1979. The 6-wheel tank looked like the vehicles from the Damnation Alley movie. You could program up to 16 commands for the Big Trak to move, forward, backward, turn around, or fire the laser weapon. The limited commands that the Big Trak had were similar to a computer language called Logo. A cursor, sometimes called a turtle, would follow the commands to draw lines on the computer screen. I would learn about Logo for the Apple II in the 1980s. Looking back almost 50 years ago, I can blame my parents for getting me into video games. Playing Pong in 1975 was only the beginning. The 1980s ushered in the video game revolution. All that and more in the next episode of this occasional video series. Let me know what you think about an older person playing video games in the comments below. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click on the notification bell to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching.